Hello students, welcome back to this session. So this is the session related to Unit 3, and Unit 3 is nuclear reactions and elementary particles. So in this session we will be mainly studying about the nuclear reactions, and in the upcoming sessions we will be studying about the elementary particles. Now first, basically, let us study what do you mean by nuclear reaction. See, in case of radioactivity, okay, so what do you mean by radioactivity? Radioactivity is nothing but the spontaneous disintegration of a atomic nucleus or atomic nuclei by the emission of alpha, beta and gamma radiation. So this is what we call it as radioactivity. So this is also a type of nuclear reaction, but this nuclear reaction is occurring spontaneously, that is without any external influence. Okay, so this process is occurring naturally. So we can also produce nuclear reactions by artificially, that is what we call it as by induction, that is by inducing or by creating it artificially. So this type of nuclear reaction, so that we are going to study in this session. So when you stimulate, or when you, by the influence of external agencies, if we stimulate any reaction, okay, so that is also called as a nuclear reaction. So now the nuclear reaction is defined, or it can be stated as there is the interaction between the projectile, usually this will be an energetical particle, and a nucleus, and this is what we call it as nuclear reaction. So nuclear reaction is defined as the interaction between the projectile, usually projectile will be an energetic particle like alpha particle, or it may be a neutron, okay, or it may be a proton, okay. So these are called as an energetic particle. So if there is an interaction between the nucleus and the projectile, so then that is what we call it as a nuclear reaction. So this is one sort of definition, or this, that is nuclear reaction can be defined in this way, or it can also be defined as there is a process or a nuclear reaction. Nuclear reaction is a process in which one nucleus is converted into another nucleus by interaction with an energetic particle. So this is what we call it as another definition for nuclear process, so nuclear reaction. So nuclear reaction is a process in which a nucleus is converted into another nucleus by interaction with a high energetic particle, that may be a proton or it may be an alpha particle, whatever it may be. So usually when we have a target nucleus, let us consider nitrogen 714 as a target nucleus. This is one nucleus. When this is bombarded with the helium, then so one nucleus is getting bombarded with a energetic particle, so there is alpha particle. So this gets converted into oxygen 817, okay. So this is another nucleus with the emission of any other particle. So now here N714, so this is what we called as target nucleus, and He24, so this is called as the projectile, and oxygen 817 is called as the product nucleus, and this H11 is nothing but proton, so which is also called as the ejectile. Okay, so in this reaction, this is your target nucleus, this is your projectile, this is your product nucleus or the another nucleus that is formed due to the nuclear reaction, and this is your ejectile. Okay, instead of writing the nuclear reaction in this way, this equation can also be written simply as N714. So this is your target nucleus, and within the bracket, so first we will be writing the projectile, next the ejectile, close the bracket, and the product nucleus that is formed. So that is oxygen 817. So a nuclear reaction can also be represented in this format, or also it can be written in the form of an equation. So both represents one and the same. So while writing in this format, so first we have to write the target nucleus, then the projectile, then the ejectile, then the product nucleus that is formed, or sometimes this product nucleus is also called as a residual nucleus. Okay, no problem. So while you are writing, it should be written in this format itself or in this order itself. First the target nucleus, next is the projectile, next is the ejectile, and next is your product nucleus or the residual nucleus. So whenever a high energy particle, there is a projectile, is bombarded upon with the target material, there will be two types of changes that is been taking place. One is what we call it as an elastic scattering, and another is what we call it as inelastic scattering. So whenever there is the high energy particle, that is what we call it as the projectile, is bombarded to the target nucleus, so what happens, there will be some changes, or there is some changes that is been observed. So this changes that is been taking place will be taking place in two types. One is what we call as an elastic scattering, and the other is what we call as an inelastic scattering. So now basically let us understand what you mean by scattering. See, in any reaction or any interaction which is taking place, okay, so the incident, if the incident particle, okay, does not change but changes the direction of the particle, then the process is called as scattering. Okay, we will repeat it once again. So scattering is defined as, there is scattering, that is for reactions or interactions, nuclear interactions. Scattering is defined as whenever there is an interaction taking place between one there is a high energetical particle and the target nucleus. If the particle does not change, that is the particle remains same as it is, that is the target nucleus does not convert into another nucleus, but only there will be a change in the direction of the nucleus that is being formed. So there is this nucleus. Okay, so that is what we call it as an scattering. Okay, if at all, if there is any nuclear reaction that is taking place, whenever there is an incident of the charged particle or the high energy particle on this target nucleus, if instead of forming other nucleus, if this nucleus remains the same but changes only its direction, then that is what we call it as a scattering. Okay, remember students. Okay, see, why we are talking about the change in the direction means, initially this is your target nucleus, let us consider. Okay, this is your target nucleus. If an high energy particle, let it be alpha particle, is made to bombard with the target nucleus, so this nucleus will change its direction of motion, or there will be a recoil in some other direction. Okay, so instead of moving in the same direction, okay, so it might move in another direction. So now there is a change in the direction of the target nucleus, but the target nucleus is one and the same. If this is the X target, okay, so this target, I mean the this residual nucleus or the product nucleus that is formed does not change, it is also X nucleus itself, but there will be a change in direction. So this is what we call it as a scattering of the interaction or scattering of the nuclear reaction. Now based on this scattering, the nuclear reactions are classified into two types. One is elastic scattering and the other is the inelastic scattering. So now nuclear reactions can be classified into two types. One is, as we have discussed earlier, elastic scattering, and the second one is inelastic scattering. Okay, so nuclear reactions is classified into two types. One is elastic scattering and the other is inelastic scattering. Now, what do you mean by elastic scattering? Means in a nuclear process or in a nuclear interaction, if it does not change the energy of the incident particle but changes only the direction of the particle, so then that is called as an incident, that is a scattering of the nuclear reaction. So then what do you mean by elastic scattering? Means if the product nucleus has the same kinetic energy as that of the incident particle, then the scattering is said to be elastic scattering. Okay, so nuclear reaction is classified into two types. One is elastic scattering and the other is inelastic scattering. If at all, if the kinetic energy of final product that is being formed and the kinetic energy of the initial target nucleus are one and the same, then such a type of scattering is what we call it as an elastic scattering. Okay, now if the kinetic energy of the final product that is being formed, if it is not equal to the kinetic energy of the initial product, then the type of scattering that is what we observe, or the type of nuclear reaction what we observe, is known as inelastic scattering. Okay, now this inelastic scattering is been majorly classified into two groups. One is compound nuclear reaction, second one is direct nuclear reaction, and third one is nuclear fission, and the last one is nuclear fusion. So the broad classification of inelastic scattering is divided into four. One is compound nuclear reaction, second one is direct nuclear reaction, and the third one is nuclear fission reaction, nuclear fusion reaction. So last two reactions we are very much familiar with. We'll be studying this in our lower classes, right? In 10th standard or plus 12. Okay, so there we'll be studying about nuclear fusion and nuclear fusion reactions. But here mainly we are studying about the compound reactions, that is compound nuclear reactions and direct nuclear reactions. So now this direct nuclear reactions are again classified into, first one, simple or radiative, nuclear reaction, and the second one is disintegration nuclear reaction, so which is also called as stripping nuclear reaction, and the third one is photo disintegration. So these are the again classifications of direct nuclear reactions. So in this session only we will be studying about what do you mean by simple or radiative nuclear reaction, what do you mean by stripping reaction or direct disintegration, or what do you mean by photo disintegration. So all these things will be in detail we'll be studying in this video. So we'll again glance once again about the classification of nuclear reaction. So nuclear reaction is nothing but a process, okay, so where one nucleus will be getting converted into another nucleus after the hitting or bombardment of the projectile or the high energy particle to that of the target nucleus. So if at all there is nuclear reactions are classified into two types, one is elastic scattering and the other is inelastic scattering. So what do you mean by elastic scattering? If the kinetic energy of the final product that is formed and the kinetic energy of the initially target nucleus is one and the same, then such type of nuclear reaction is what we called as an elastic scattering. But inelastic scattering, if the kinetic energy of the final product is not same as that of the initial kinetic energy or target nucleus, then such a type of nuclear reaction is what we called as an inelastic scattering. So now inelastic scattering is broadly divided into compound nuclear reaction, direct nuclear reaction, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. And direct nuclear reaction is again classified into three types. One is simple or radiative, The second one is disintegration or steeping reaction, and third one is photo disintegration. So now let us look into once again what do you mean by elastic scattering. So as we have discussed in the earlier session, so if the kinetic energy of the product that is formed, or if the if the target nucleus and the residual nucleus that is formed, if both are one and the same, then such a type of scattering or nuclear reaction is what we called as an elastic scattering. Now let us see an example. Let us consider a target nucleus X for which a projectile A is bombarded. So now after this nuclear reaction, if the same product is formed again, okay, so with the emission of a certain projectile, so then this type of scattering is what we called as an elastic scattering. So let us look into an example. So we have gold AU with atomic number 79 and mass number 197. If it is bombarded with a helium nucleus, that is alpha particle, so the product or the residual nucleus that is formed will be again gold itself with the emission of again the alpha particle. See here the target nucleus and the projectile on the left hand side. Here we have the product nucleus or the residual nucleus and the ejectile. So both are one and the same. So this type of scattering is what we call as an elastic scattering. Now let us look into an example for inelastic scattering. So here, so as we have discussed, that is, if the initial energy of the target nucleus and the final energy of the target nucleus are different, then we call it as an inelastic scattering. See now let us consider the same example, that is X is the target nucleus and A is the projectile. Okay, so when these two are bombarded, so then there is formation of an product nucleus, okay, X itself, but here what we are having, the state or the energy state of this residual nucleus that is formed is not the same. Okay, this star indicates that there is a newly formed product nucleus or the residual nucleus will be having or it will be in the excited state. After some time, by the de-excitation or by emitting gamma photon, it will come to the normal state. So this type of reaction is what we call as an inelastic scattering. So this is one of the possibility. So or the another possibility is not only the residual nucleus, instead of the residual nucleus, the ejectile may be in the higher energy state. So whichever it may be, so the product nucleus or the target product nucleus or the ejectile is in the excited state, then such a type of scattering is what we called as an inelastic scattering. So let us consider a reaction where lithium nucleus is bombarded with proton. So what happens to this product nucleus will goes to the excited state and with the emission of course proton itself. Okay, now so the star indicates that the nucleus that is been formed, there is a target product nucleus which is formed, will be in the excited state and it will come to the de-excited state by the emission of the gamma photon. Okay, so until now we have seen that the target nucleus and the product nucleus that was formed was one and the same. So we had represented the equation in a nuclear reaction in the form of an equation. In case of in a nuclear reaction, we have a target nucleus X which is bombarded with a projectile, and there is formation of another nucleus, okay, Y, with a B as the ejectile. So then this nuclear reaction, as we have discussed earlier, will be represented in this format. That is, first we have to write the target nucleus, next we have to write the projectile, next we have to write the ejectile, and next we have the target nucleus. So this is the format we are representing the nuclear reaction. If at all we have the different target nucleus and the different product nucleus or the residual nucleus. Okay, if it is the same, so we'll be writing in this format. Okay, so if there is different, that is if the product target and the residual nucleus are different, then that reaction can be represented in this format. Okay, so let us write a simple example. So we have a helium nucleus bombarded on this target nucleus, and we have the formation of carbon with the emission of the neutron. Okay, here we have this as a product nucleus and this as the projectile. So therefore it is represented as He24 comma neutron plus C612. Okay, so this is the representation of the nuclear reaction. If at all the nuclear reaction is, that is if the target nucleus and the product nucleus are different, then it is represented in this format. Now let us look into the different types of inelastic scattering. Okay, under that first one we have the compound nuclear reaction. So compound nuclear reaction is a type of nuclear reaction in which the projectile, whenever it is bombarded with the target nucleus, whenever it is bombarded with the projectile, so it will form a compound nucleus in the higher, that is in the excited state. Okay, so the lifetime of this compound nucleus that is been created due to the bombardment of this projectile with this target nucleus is very short period of time. So this will come back, or this will give rise to a compound nucleus with the emission of the gamma ray as the ejectile and with the formation of a target nucleus. Okay, so this type of nuclear reaction is what we call it as a compound nuclear reaction. Remember students, in case of the target nucleus and the residual nucleus that is formed, so these two will be having different kinetic energies, or they will be having different energies. So hence this comes under the inelastic scattering or inelastic nuclear reaction. So as we have discussed earlier, so inelastic scattering is been divided into 4 major groups. One, under that first one is the compound nuclear reaction. So what do you mean by compound nuclear reaction? Means whenever we have this target nucleus X which is bombarded by a projectile. Okay, so due to the bombardment of this projectile with this target nucleus, a compound nucleus is being formed. So this compound nucleus that is formed will be in the excited state. So the lifetime of this compound nucleus in the excited state is very less. So therefore they will go back to the normal state, or they will form another nucleus, that is the residual nucleus or the product nucleus, with the emission of the gamma. Okay, so the ejectile will be usually gamma in these types of nuclear reaction. So this is what we call it as compound nuclear reaction. So direct nuclear reaction. So the name itself indicates that there is a direct transition, or there is direct transformation of the target nucleus after bombardment with the projectile to some residual nucleus or the product nucleus without going to a compound state. Okay, in the compound nuclear reaction we saw that whenever we have an projectile bombarded with the target, so there is formation of a compound nucleus which is in the excited state. But in this case, so what happens, so without forming this compound states, so after the bombardment of this projectile with the target nucleus, so directly it goes to the formation of the residual nucleus and along with the emission of the ejectile. So this step, or the formation of the compound nucleus, will be avoided in case of the direct nuclear reaction. So therefore direct nuclear reaction is a nuclear reaction in which the target nucleus will be directly going to the final state, so without any intermediate state. So this types of nuclear reaction, that is where the target nucleus will directly transform into the residual nucleus without undergoing any compound state. So this type of nuclear reaction is what we call it as a direct nuclear reaction. So in case of direct nuclear reaction, there are 3 major classifications. So first one is radiative or simple direct nuclear reaction. So in this type of nuclear reaction, so the projectile will knocks out of a particle from the target and get itself absorbed by the nucleus itself. So in case of radiative or simple nuclear reaction, so what happens, the target nucleus, okay, will absorb some incident particle, that it may be a neutron or it may be a proton or it may be an alpha particle. So this particles will be captured by the target nucleus and it directly gets converted into another nucleus or the residual nucleus, and this residual nucleus that is formed usually will be in the little bit higher energy state, and it comes to the lower energy state by the emission of gamma rays. So this type of nuclear reaction is what we called as simple or radiative capture, we call such type of nuclear reaction. So let us look into an example. So here we have carbon C612, okay, so which is what we call as an target nucleus. So this target nucleus will absorb, let us consider a proton, okay. So what happens, it directly gets converted into nitrogen 1713, so which is will be in an excited state, that is energy state will be in an excited state. So this comes to this normal state, okay, by the emission of the gamma. So this type of nuclear reaction is what we call as a radiative, sorry, it is not radioactive, it is radiative or simple capture, okay, so nuclear reaction. So here we have seen that is the target nucleus will absorb a proton or a neutron, or it might absorb a alpha particle, okay. So let us consider another example, that is we have lithium 37. So if this absorbs or captures the helium nucleus, so it directly gets converted into B511, so which is in the excited state, okay. So this comes back to the ground state with the emission of the gamma, okay. So this is what we call as a nuclear, that is radiative or simple capture nuclear reaction. Now let us look into the second type of direct nuclear reaction, that is what we call as stripping reaction, or which is also called as disintegration nuclear reaction. So in this type of nuclear reaction, what happens, the target nucleus will capture one of the constituents of the projectile and it gets converted into another nucleus. So now let us understand this with an example. So let us consider beryllium 49. So this is our target nucleus. When this is bombarded with the alpha particle, that is a helium nucleus, so this beryllium nucleus will capture some of the constituents of the projectile and it gets converted into another nucleus. So here in this case it will get converted into carbon and with the emission of the neutron. So this is what, or this type of nuclear reaction is what we call as a stripping nuclear reaction or disintegration reaction. So in this stripping nuclear reaction or so this type of nuclear reaction where the target nucleus will absorb some of the constituents of the projectile. So this type of nuclear reaction is what we call as a stripping nuclear reaction or disintegration nuclear reaction. So there are many examples for this stripping reactions. For example, if the target nucleus, that is beryllium 49, absorbs a proton, then lithium 36 plus and helium will be given out as the projectile. So this is one of the type of stripping reaction or the disintegration reaction where the bombarding particle, that is the target nucleus, will absorb the proton, okay. So that is one of the constituents. So and see, it has been absorbed a proton but it has given out helium. So this is what we call it as a proton disintegration, or this is also called as another type of stripping reaction, that's all, okay. And another example for this stripping reaction is deuteron. So we have lithium 36 plus H12. H12 is nothing but known as isotope of hydrogen, so which is nothing but known as deuteron. So while absorbing, that is this target nucleus, if this absorbs this deuteron, so helium nucleus is given out as a product nucleus, and helium only will come out as the projectile, ejectile. Okay, so this is one of the example. In the same manner, so we have carbon C612. If this deuteron is made to bombard on this carbon C612, the newly formed isotope is carbon only C613, and with the emission of this proton again. So this is another example for stripping reaction. And here we have utilized there is a projectile as a deuteron. So if alpha particle is made to incident, that is He24 is a projectile, and lithium 37 is your target nucleus, then the newly formed boron, okay, so we'll be having atomic number 5 and mass number 11, okay, and with the emission of an alpha particle or a proton. Okay, so if you balance this equation, you'll be getting 11. So definitely this is gamma. Okay, why? Because charge conservation, 4 plus 7 it is 11, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So the newly formed ejectile will be having neither mass neither charge. So definitely it will be a gamma, or it might be a photon. Okay, anyone. Okay, this is another type of reaction where the target nucleus will absorb the helium. Okay, so or the alpha particle. So next type of stripping reaction is where there is an absorption of neutrons. Okay, so we have aluminium 1327. Okay, if this absorbs or if it is bombarded with a neutron, then an isotope of aluminium is formed, and with the emission of again there is gamma. Okay, so this is one of the type of stripping reaction. Or we have boron 510. If this absorbs neutron, there may be a formation of lithium, and with the projectile as alpha particle. Okay, so these are some of the types where that is depending upon the projectile that is being absorbed by the target nucleus. So we have 4 different types of disintegration or the stripping reaction, that is proton, deuteron, alpha particle, and neutron. Okay, so just you can see in an example. So there is not much in detail needed. Okay, so this is enough if you know. Okay, it is more than enough. Now next type of nuclear reaction, indirect nuclear reaction, is we have the photo disintegration. Photo disintegration. So it is just a little bit quite opposite to your stripping reaction. See what happens in case of disintegration, the target nucleus will capture one of the constituents of the projectile. But in case of photo disintegration, the projectile will capture a particle from the target nucleus. That is nothing but the reverse process of the disintegration process. So listen once again. See, in case of when you are studying the stripping reaction or the disintegration reaction, this target nucleus will absorb some of the constituents of the projectile, and it will get converted into a residual nucleus or the product nucleus with the emission of some ejectile. So in this case, it is reverse. The projectile will absorb some of the constituents of the product, that is target nucleus, and it get converted into another product nucleus or the residual nucleus will be formed along with the ejectile. That is the photo disintegration process is a little bit reverse process of the stripping reaction. Now let us see an example for the photo disintegration process. That is, let us consider we have deuteron. Okay, if this is bombarded with gamma, okay, so there is a formation of proton and with the emission of the neutron as an ejectile. So this is just little bit quite opposite to that of the stripping reaction, that is photo disintegration. So this is also called as pickup reaction. Why? Because here the projectile itself is picking up. See, we can see here we have a deuteron. So this itself, that is this gamma, okay, photon, okay, gamma itself is absorbing some of the neutron, some of the particles of the target nucleus, and they are getting converted into residual nucleus and the ejectile. Okay, so this is another type of nuclear reaction. So and next nuclear reaction is nothing but the nuclear fission reaction. So we are very well known with nuclear fusion reaction, that is the splitting up of the heavy nucleus into two or more lighter nucleus with the emission of neutrons, okay, and emission of energy is what we call it as a nuclear fission reaction. And next type of nuclear reaction is nothing but nuclear fusion reaction, where the lighter nuclei combine to form heavier nuclei. There is reverse process of fission reaction. Of course, in both the reactions there is emission of energy, okay, along with the 2 or 3 nucleus, okay. That is in case of nuclear fission reaction there will be emission of 2 or 3 neutrons, okay. And here in case of fusion it is combining lighter nuclei. So definitely in both the cases there is emission of the energy due to the difference in the masses between the reactants and the products. According to Einstein's mass energy relation, the difference between the masses of the reactants and the masses of the products, so the difference between this mass will be coming out as the energy, okay. So we shall see some of the examples, 1 or 2 examples for nuclear fission reaction and nuclear fusion reaction. So now let us have a look into nuclear fission reaction. So in fission reaction, so whenever we have any target nucleus, when this target nucleus is bombarded with the help of a projectile, so the splitting up of this target nucleus into 2 or more lighter nucleus is what we call as a nuclear fission reaction. And during nuclear fission reaction, 2 or more neutrons might be produced along with the emission of the energy. Now let us look into an example. So we have very famous equation, that is uranium-92-235. Whenever it is bombarded with a neutron, a compound nucleus, that is uranium-92-236 will be formed. So this will decay into barium, that is atomic number 56 and mass number 141, and krypton 36, atomic number, mass number 92. Here there is emission of 3 neutrons with the release of energy, where Q is the energy that is been released in case of nuclear fission reaction. So this is one of the example for nuclear fission reaction. Now let us have a look at what do you mean by nuclear fusion reaction. So in case of nuclear fusion reaction, so as we have discussed earlier, there is the smaller nuclei or the smaller lighter nuclei combined to give a new element, okay, and along with it an energy will be released, okay. So let us see that there is combination of or combining 4 protons H11 give rise to a helium nucleus, okay, plus with the emission of 2 positrons plus energy, okay. So in this case approximately there is an emission of energy of around 200 mega electron volt. Here it will be around 24 or 20 approximately 20 to 24 mega electron volt of energy will be released during nuclear fusion reaction. So this there is nuclear fission reaction is an or it forms the principle of atom bomb, or it forms the principle of a nuclear reactor or power reactors, okay. So these are the some of the fields where the nuclear fusion process will be taking place. And nuclear fusion reaction, so in case of sun, okay, we have that is inside the sun there is nuclear fusion taking place, that is burning of hydrogen or protons into another nucleus. So this is the example for nuclear fusion reaction. Of course stars, okay, in majority of the stars, so this nuclear fusion reaction is been taking place. So we are not going in detail about these things. So now let us move on to some of the conservation laws regarding to the nuclear reaction. So we have certain conservation laws to be satisfied for the nuclear reaction to take place. So we will be seeing the nuclear reaction, that is conservation laws for nuclear reaction in the next video. Thank you.